What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is from season 2 finale episode 10 preview breakdown. We're gonna go over the trailer and we're gonna go over the footage that the trailer left. Unfortunately, the footage that I got was very grainy. Even the audio was messed up, but a subscriber of mine gave me some high quality screenshots. So we're gonna use these screenshots that I got in pictures that were given to me, and we're gonna try to break it down using those instead of the exact trailer. So make sure you subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And FromCon is upon us. We will be having a FromCon next year in June, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can get the latest updates. The website will be dropping this week and you'll be able to pre-order your tickets. I hope to see you in Nashville next year. Let's get into it. So first, we'll break down everything dealing with Tabitha. In the trailer, we see Tabitha talking to Victor about the picture that she found with the lighthouse and that she wants to travel to this lighthouse because that's where she thinks the kids are locked up at. So she asks Victor, what's going on? How did your mother get out there? And he tells her the bottle tree. Now, if you remember in season 1, the episode Into the Woods, when Boyd was out in the woods with Sarah, they stumble upon this bottle tree, a tree that has bottles hanging from it. Boyd then looks up and then he realizes that there's a note inside of one of these bottles. When he tries to pull the bottle down, all of a sudden Sarah says, I can hear them. Now, we know that she's been given visions from somebody in town that's been trying to help them escape. But at this time, is she hearing visions from the people who left the bottles in this tree? Because this causes her to go into a seizure. And in this show, we know that when people go into seizures, usually they are given a vision. So what did Sarah see? Bringing it back to this episode, we can see Victor and Tabitha making their way to this bottle tree. Now, the one thing we did not see when we first met this bottle tree with Sarah and Boyd was a different angle. And from this angle, we can clearly see that this bottle tree is also a faraway tree. Now, if the faraway trees are exactly what I told you, an Einstein-Rosen bridge, a wormhole, more technology, just disguised to look like a tree so that it blends in the woods, then that would mean with that technology, you would be able to go forward and backwards into time through a wormhole. So as that's what's going on with this faraway tree, are the notes inside the faraway tree kind of like coordinates to get you where you want to go? You put the bottle in the tree, you jump in the tree, and that's where you go. Will that happen to Tabitha? Will she have to put a picture that she found from Eloise inside of a bottle, and when she hangs that picture in the bottle, that's how she'll be transported to the tower, watchtower, once and for all? Now, we do see her inside the tower later on in the footage, so she does make her way there. What happens to her in the tower is still up in the air. Will she find some type of medical facility where they're treating all these children? Is this just a front to make it look like a tower, but it's something else in there? We'll have to wait for the show to reveal that, but when you remember her and her vision of the tower, we can notice a couple of things from that. While digging the hole in the basement, Tabitha is all of a sudden transported to what she believes to be this light tower. She walks up the steps, and as she walks up the steps, she sees a couple of different things. First, we see her outside in an area that does not appear to be from land. In fact, it looks beautiful out there. The sun is shining, but it doesn't look like she is in the town anymore. As she continues up, we see Ethan's finger puppet, an egg, and what appears to be a playing card all sitting on the steps. She doesn't do anything, but she does continue up this tower, and as she continues up from it, she hears something, and she talks back to it, and she still makes her way up. She gathers up these toys, and when she does, we can see that there is a ambulance on the outside of that. Now, the only ambulance that we have is the one in town, but could that mean something else, the ambulance being there? She then hits a bottle, and the bottle goes all the way back down the steps. This bottle that she hit was the same type of bottle that we seen hanging inside of the tree. So does this mean that's how she got there? You have to put the note in the bottle, and that is why she is in the position she is, because she did so, and that's how she was able to gain access to this place in the first place. But that bottle she kicked down was empty. As she continues up these steps, we see the same shot we've seen before, just from a different angle, and that is her outside. Again, this time it's a little bit slower. Before, they really sped the camera around so you couldn't see the background, but from looking out here again, it truly doesn't seem that she is in Frumland in this particular picture that we see her in. And then we transport ourselves right back again to her inside of this tower once again. And as she walks up this tower, this is when she looks right past the window and she can see the dates that are carved into the wall directly in front of her from the way she went up these steps. Now, are these dates the same dates that were inside of that tree? We have no idea, but it could be a good possibility. After that, she looks up and we see Jim hanging there, and Jim then screams at her, and then we see flashbacks of everything that happened to her before she got. First, it's Jim losing control of the RV when Toby and them knock him off the road. We then see the RV skid off the road. After that, we see Jim shining a light right into her face. When this happens, this makes her close her eyes because the light is blinding her. And then flashes back to the car being wrecked again. And right after that, we see her wake up. If you're one of the people who believe that this could be a dream, or that they're all inside some type of asylum, or they're all crazy, this could lead credence towards that if we see Tabitha waking up like that after the light is being shined into her eyes, like she's being awoken from something, a coma or anything else. Next picture we get is Jade tying a string around a tree. You can go into a whole lot of metaphors about what tying a rope means, but in actuality, this means the man is heading into the cave and he's going to use this string to find his way back out of this thing. We know that Jade's whole mission is to figure out exactly what those symbols mean on the wall, and we know that the symbols are inside of that cave. So Jade has to make his way into this cave, and we do see that from the images. We see Jade inside the cave. We can tell because he still has the rope tied to him, and we see on these slabs, we can see there are children laid out on all of these slabs. When we continue and we look at the other pictures, we can look and we can see that there are 7 kids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that are all laid out on these slabs. Now, if we go back to the picture of Victor and Tabitha when they were inside the cave, we can see what almost looks like this, in that underneath the symbol, it looks like what I thought were coffins, but it's most likely these slabs and pictures of children directly underneath them. So this must be what's going on and what Jade has ran into. Now, is he actually run into this room? Is this physical, or is this all in Jade's head? Every time we've seen these children, they have been inside of Tabitha's head, but has Jade actually found the room that these kids are being held captive in? We also see Jade looking directly up into the air, and I bet you that that symbol is up there. That's why he's looking up. So what is the significance to this whole situation, and what does this symbol mean? Well, we're going to find out in this episode, because it has something to do with these children. After seeing these pictures, I am 100% convinced that this has to do with aliens and alien technology. When we look at the pictures on the cave, we can see this large red blob, which most likely is the person that is running this whole show. And that person, if it is looking like that, is not looking human. We then see a house that is set outside there, and it seems to have symbols around it. These symbols could represent the talisman that protects the house. We do see another figure of what appears to be the 2 children that keep showing up to Tabitha, holding hand in hand, and on the left hand side we can see the symbol that Jade sees and the other children underneath them. Looking at the other symbols on the cave, we could see what appears to be a river, and in this river we see people floating in boats. It's 2 people in one boat, and then we see another 3 people in another boat, and another 3 people in another boat. So it turns out that there are 8 people escaping inside of this boat, and it seems to be the symbols and the forest that is all around them. We enlarge the other picture of the house. We can see that on the opposite side, it looks like there is a figure 8, that the ones thing has been wiped away, but it used to be a figure 8. Now, Einstein and Rosen found that theoretically, every black hole is paired with a white hole. Because the 2 holes would exist in separate places in space, a tunnel, a wormhole, would bridge the 2 ends. And I think that is what this represents here, as we see the line in the middle. That middle meeting point is the tunnel, the wormhole that bridges the gap. And I think that is what this is all about. Technology that we see in the faraway tree is all Rosen and Einstein bridges, i.e. wormholes, and this is just a loop that is continuously going on. Our final pictures, we see Sarah, Kenny, and Boyd traveling out into the woods in the same spot where Boyd found Martin and this whole thing began. The only thing I could think of them going there is to find the music box. At that music box, that's the first place he's seen it. So somehow if he can get back inside of there and he can destroy the music box, that would stop all these nightmares from happening and killing people in their sleep. We see Sarah with a bloody nose and her holding her hands over her ears. This happened before in this video I showed you when we reached the bottle tree where she started having seizures. So that could be the same thing going on. Again, when she got to this point is when she said that she started hearing a bunch of voices. So if the voices are communicating with her again and they're hurting her, that's what seems like is going on here. When you look at this picture with Kenny and Boyd, it looks like Kenny is still unimpressed with Sarah. Kenny just hates Sarah. He truly does. He truly hates her. But that is what I think is happening in this. Will they all be successful? We'll find out. You put in the comment sections what you think is happening. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.